Good evening, everyone. This is Shubhankar Goswami. I'm your host for the evening. I love the good applause. So I teach, as most of you know, I teach interior architecture here at IIAD. I am an architect by profession, and I am a visual and a performance artist. And I'm also very popularly known on this campus as the faculty who looks like the students. So I welcome you all to the second episode of Make No Sense. It's a one-of-a-kind session that we are having here at IIAD. It's to have a heart-to-heart conversation with our alumni. And we have two of our alumni here today who are also known as IIDians because that's what the bio of most of my students on Instagram is like. So they're also called IIDians. They've claimed that name for themselves. So we will be discussing how their journey was from being design students to now being professionals. We would also like to have some fun activities and conversation just to get to know them, how their life has been after college. And so yeah, just letting our hair down and having a chill conversation is the intention of this evening. So the vibe of the platform takes pride in its intentional humor and hopes the guests would wear their wits on their sleeves. And in case I'm not humorous, those are not my jokes. So today we have Himanshi, Dadhich and Simran, Bhatia. They're from batch. So they're from batch 2015 to 19. And so I'll just give you a quick introduction about two of our guests today. Himanshi is an interior designer and she's the founder of Skilled Mason. She's very passionate about creating aesthetically and functionally unique spaces. She prefers to focus more on the user experience and therefore she works on the tactile and sensory qualities of a space. At Skilled Mason, they believed that every space has the potential to be transformed into something unique by just working on the simpler things in interior spaces. So that is Himanshi here. A second guest, Simran. Simran hails from the picturesque town of Dehradun. She belongs to the first batch of interior architecture. Having worked with prestigious firm Incubus, she now lives the dream life of running a homestay in Uttarakhand and also working in exclusive interior design projects. So clearly she's having the time of her life after college. So I just want to know, how does it feel to be back in IIAD, first of all? And I saw you guys having conversation with Kishore sir downstairs. So let's start with you, Himanshi. How do you feel that you're back in IIAD and you're meeting everyone after how many years? Tell me.
I think after graduating, I've come here for the first time.
Okay.
I didn't attend
grad show
also because I was not in town, obviously. And it feels very nostalgic, obviously great. It really feels great, you know, being back here and looking at the work of students. It's really nice.
That's great.
Changes are a sign that you're growing. So this
Absolutely.
college has grown also.
Absolutely. So tell me, Himanshi, why did you choose design and why particularly interior architecture?
So I was very when I didn't have it clear. I remember I gave entrance test for engineering also, but then I was not feeling so sure about it. I was always good at sketching. I was good at painting, but I never knew what I wanted to do. But then I sat myself down and I was like, I need to do something. And obviously, to convince your parents, you need to have the data that you're choosing such career. Why? How do you want to go about it and everything? So I sat myself down and I remember I jotted down some points that this is going to be my, because I was always very interested in spaces. I remember my aunt did her house and she renovated it completely. And I always had to say something about it. And I used to give her reference images that you should, auntie, you should do it like this. And I had that interest. I was luckily good with sketches and everything. So then I decided that I would want to go, and my parents supported. So good.
So when I joined architecture, I had no idea what it really is. I want to know from you, Simran, that did you understand what interior architecture as a discipline is, or did you? I'm sure because you understood interior design. But what is the difference from interior design and interior architecture, and how did you realize that it was different?
So this was our question to every faculty. We used to ask every faculty, what is the difference?
Yeah.
What should we say? What are we, interior designers or interior architects?
Yeah.
So even in the field, a lot of people, when you are working, your degree says BA Honours in Interior Architecture Design. So a lot of people ask कि इसमें architecture भी कराते हैं? So you have to make them clear कि नहीं, it's only interior, but it's not basic decor. You go into deep interior. They will give you basic information about structure. They will, like we had a workshop on shadows, psiography. So they don't do this in interior design.
Absolutely.
But they do it in interior architecture design.
Right.
So
And Himanshi, would you like to answer that? How does it set you apart from interior designers in the industry? And like you must have met them, worked with them, and how does it set you apart? If you can highlight maybe any project, any incident, any conversation with them.
So like working with interior designers now, I clearly see a difference because interior designers mostly, I would call them interior decorators because they are more focused on how a place, a scene looks or how a space looks. They are more concerned about the colors or the drama that they can bring to a space. While whereas we are also into functionality. For example, the lighting should be like this, or the plumbing should be this way, or things like that. So we are more into the nitty-gritties of interior spaces, whereas the interior designer is mostly concerned about how the place looks.
So you mentioned that there's a struggle with employers when they ask you what is the difference between interior design and interior architecture. I'm sure it's still easier to talk to them. What about clients? When they ask you, how do you deal with them?
no, for them we are interior designers.
Okay.
We don't say
We
interior
don't
architects.
complicate it.
You don't fight
are
there, like,
women,
okay,
yeah.
let it be. You tell me how it feels being the only very few interior architects in the country out there. I mean, I'm sure there are everywhere else in the world, but in our country, we don't really have too many of interior architects. So, other than the struggle, how does it feel being the first of its kind, in your career? How does it feel?
See, I'll be very honest. Most of the architects are working on interior projects these days.
Right.
So
Yeah, they're taking up on our parts.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that different in the field when you enter.
There are clients who come to us and they say, ki, we have our architect in place and we have already hired and he's willing to do the interiors. What new are you going to bring to the space and our home? And I do get asked this question a lot. And then I tell them that why don't you ask them to bring, the work they have already done, and I can show you my work maybe, and then you can figure out on your own that they have obviously their expertise in structure of the building and the elevation and everything, how the building is going to look like, how the placement of columns and everything will be. But I think we are more experienced in terms of
we are more detailed when it comes to the interior bit. That is a difference I think we both have noticed.
Right. So, Simran, how do you think that what is the future for interior architects? Also considering that the project that you have worked on, and we just discussed downstairs that you use prefab construction technique. So you mentioned that architects are taking up your job, but at the same time you have the option. So tell me about that. How do you feel that you are capable of doing that, and how did that really happen?
So that confidence came after studying the 4-year course I did here. I would never build a home on my own. It's a difficult task.
Right.
So even my father couldn't do it. That's why when I completed the course, he said, you do it. Because I could, so that's why I said, okay, now I will do it. So it's a different experience. Obviously, they cannot teach you everything in college. There are so many things you learn once you're out, but they can give you the confidence. Like our faculty always pushed us. In the last year, Snehanshu sir always pushed us कि खुद का काम करो. क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो खुद का काम? Why are you कि आप हमें जॉब दो, खुद का काम करो. So that is a very big learning. Like you should do your own projects. You will make a lot of mistakes. मतलब मैं आज भी realize करती हूँ like it should not have happened this way, but it should be the other way would have been better. But that you will only realize it once you do it.
Would you say that the experience here, studying 4 years here, other than the learnings and the technical learnings and everything else, you had a basic sense of the basic confidence to tackle any design problem? Do you say that was there?
Because a lot of design problems come, they are not on the paper, but when you are on the site, a lot of design problems come कि अच्छा यहाँ पर switch नहीं आ सकता क्योंकि यहाँ पे तार आ रही है, कुछ pipe आ रहा है. There are a lot of problems जो आपको instantly decisions लेने होते हैं.
Right.
So the confidence came from here, definitely.
Himanshi, tell us about your brand story. How did Skill Mason happen? I'm very interested in knowing that. And how did you come up with the name as well?
So I was working, I was doing a job before, like when I graduated, I went to Karu, I was working there for 1 year. But then I remember there's this client who came to me and he said, ki, your father told me that you're an interior designer and we are making a house and would you be interested in doing the design? I said, okay, I can take that up. And so organically that happened for me. And I was obviously getting calls from other people who were visiting their home, who were visiting the site and they liked it. And the term skilled mason, I remember we were in second year, Arshna ma'am was teaching us and there used to be a lot of hands-on experience classes, workshops. So one day we were cutting, I think, wooden boards and joining them. That was a joinery class. So we were, and then I asked ma'am, how is this going to help us? We are not going to be carpenters. Why are you teaching us that? So she said, ki, there should not be a difference between you and masons. You are just skilled ones. So that way I thought I should name my firm the Skilled Mason.
So are you working with a bigger team or you prefer to keep it an exclusive team?
It's a smaller team, so that's the disadvantage of starting, just after college. You have to do a lot of multitasking because you don't start with, too many people. You are one-man army in a way. So you are your own 3D maker, you are doing drawings, you're doing everything that is happening on the site. You have to visit the site also, you have to handle the client. You are doing negotiations with clients as well and vendors also. So everything was done by me initially and then I used to hire people whenever and wherever I needed help.
How did studying design and interior architecture and design and your experience also in this particular college, that is IIAD, how did that change your personality as a human and as a professional as well? What shift do you see before you came into this college and after you graduated?
So there was a drastic change. So we all came from school. We just finished our schooling and we came here and it was a very big city. We both were coming from smaller towns, so it was a very big city, so that was a change in itself. Then we made a lot of friends and it was a very good batch of friends that we had. They were really supportive. They were all from different towns, so we interacted. Then the faculty, I cannot tell you how good the faculty was. So it was like a family, it was a close-knit family, being the first batch. So everybody knew everything about everyone. So it really helped us grow in the first year. But we could easily walk into the dean's office and tell her about our complaints, and it was taken into action. So you cannot go into a principal's office in school, you're scared. But here we got the confidence to know you can tell them about your problems and they will listen to you.
How did your personality transform to eventually graduating?
I think, like Kishore sir told you, I was...
Yeah, that's why I asked this question. I would like you to tell it to the members of the audience.
I was very much in my own shell. I was not very open in college. I was very shy. I would say shy. But after getting out of here, I think because I had to handle everything, because I had to interact with clients, and during my job also, I was presented opportunities where I have to take some calls and interact with the client. I think then the shell was removed and I had to do it. I had to get out of my skin to really do the job.
Who's your favorite faculty? So we'll start with you, Simran. Who was your favorite faculty at IIAD?
I think all were very nice.
No, that's not how it's going to be.
Let me see who all are sitting. Let me see. Let me see who all are sitting, then I can answer.
Take a look around. Even if they're not seated here, they will be watching this. So you better beware.
We met many people, but I think every year the faculty was very nice. I can't pick one.
You haven't answered my question.
You would have to ask us year-wise.
Okay. So you tell me about L5.
Arpit sir.
Foundation year, definitely Kishore sir.
Okay.
And Usha here, ma'am, yes.
What do you feel is more important as a professional, as a design professional? Is it networking or is it being creative?
Networking. Any day networking.
You agree to that?
Yes, hands down.
Even I'll tell the students, go out and tell them you are designers. Don't tell them you're students. tell the world you are designers and you are
Already.
working.
So would you say that you can do away with creativity, but not without networking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel is more resourceful in order for you to think? Is it the analog skills or the digital skills for thinking, for ideating?
I think both are important in their own place.
Okay. And what
I
do you
would
think?
I would put analog because you know, you can assign these work, for example, working drawings or 3Ds to, and you will have to do it at some point of time, because when you're starting, you have to do it all. But I think sketching and, you know, doing it with your own hands is very important, because sometimes you are at site and you have to take calls, you have to sketch and, you know, explain to the workers or whatever, carpenter, whatever, whoever is working, and you have to on site explain them this has to be done, because this was, there could be a mistake in working drawings and it could kuch bhi ho sakta hai, but you have to be very on your toes to be, you know, explain them.
Right. So I asked this question specifically because we have a lot of students here as well, and that's always a struggle.
But do
Sometimes-
learn working drawings and 3Ds, especially 3Ds. You need to learn them really, because clients do not understand working drawings. They only understand a visual which you present, and 3D is the most important thing, I think.
So everyone hates this one subject, okay? And when you're in profession, you realize that because you hated it so much, you didn't pay attention, and now you're in trouble. So what was that one topic or any part of your discipline that you feel that you missed out and you shouldn't have because it was very important?
Yeah,
So-
I'll say it was BOQ for me. Because of quantities. Oh God. I still regret it.
I hated history, like reading about.
And how did you think that it bounced back on you when you were in profession?
You know, history gives you more insights about the terms, I think. You know, for example, there's this lamp, but what do you think about it? Which era did it belong? Or, you know, like that. You're more equipped with the vocabulary if you read about history, I think. I believe now. So that was the part I missed. I think I should have read more. Now I do.
How did you deal with that competition? What do you think that set you apart? And also competition from other colleges, seniors as well as juniors. How did you deal with it?
You just have to do your best.
Right.
You have to be very good in communicating your thought. Once the client gets it, your design is sold. But if you confuse him with ideas, if you put him कि अच्छा ये भी कर सकते हैं, ये भी कर सकते हैं, no. एक thought के साथ जाओ. Like be prepared. What are you going to say in front of the client?
So I'm sure there's some sense of you know, stress as well, that you know, I've got to keep my game up. So how do you deal with that?
I really think keeping up quality is more important than keeping up quantity. So there are times when you there are projects which are, you know, well paying, but then you have to decide that what is the vision of the client also. I want to do that kind of work, so I have to decide my niche where I want to, you know, establish my portfolio and who I want to be recognized as. So sometimes you have to drop some projects to be able to deliver the quality that you want to do.
So elaborate on that. Did you ever walk out on a client?
Yeah, I have done. I've
How
done
was that?
Very recently.
Very recently. You know, there are, you know, when you have a first meeting, so that's the way you grow up. Like, you know, you know for yourself that this is not the kind of work that I want to get involved in, and this is not the path you want to, you know, go with. And you have your first meeting with client, and you know that, you know, you click with them, or you know don't click with them. Either it's a well-paying project or whatever it is, but you know it's going to be trouble for you later. Sometimes you have to, you know, keep off with that.
Yeah.
The budget constraint will always be there. When you first meet the client and you tell him what can the space look like, he'll be very excited. He said, "Nahi, we'll do it. ये भी कर लेंगे, ये भी कर लेंगे." But when it comes to budget, and the client says कि नहीं, इसका budget नहीं है, then you also lose interest, you know. What you imagine the space to be, and then it's not turning out to be like that, then you also lose interest. Then you have to say कि we have to step down.
Yeah, it's not
Also,
good.
I would like to add to that now, clients are more equipped with Pinterest than designers. So now they have their own set of pictures, reference pictures.
They will give you mood board. Okay, this is our mood. What is your
and we
mood?
want
Oh,
this,
okay.
this, and they want everything like in a space.
So what do you tell them, that it's not you, it's me? Thank you for that question, Ritika, and very insightful answer. Could you give them like a few pointers in terms of what is the biggest mistake that every student makes when they do their first fresher portfolio? And you must have looked back on your portfolios and like, oh damn, this is a mistake that everybody in my batch was making.
One, I would say remove your the projects that are very, you do in first year or second year of your college, because they are very crude, I would say. They're very raw. And I think you should include, if you're getting a job, you should include more working drawings, and you should include more 3Ds, so that the person who's hiring can understand what, and you should obviously build a story around your portfolio, how you came with an idea, what was your thought process behind it. You should put your sketches, I think. The more you're showing the other person or the employer that you are thinking in such a way, and then reaching the end product, that really helps them to, understand you.
Okay, so now we'll move on to a rapid fire just to like speed things up a little. So I'll say your name and then the question, and you have to quickly answer to that question. So I'll start with Simran, your favorite spot on the campus?
Rec Rio.
What did you do there?
We used to sleep there.
Oh yes, for a design student to sleep, of course. Himanshi, most memorable professor? It could be memorable in good or bad ways, just memorable. You don't have to mention.
Hands down Ashna Gupta ma'am.
Himanshi, one project that you hated doing?
I used to
say
hate
all. Himanshi say all.
No. I used to hate doing these history write-ups for Jolly ma'am.
Okay.
I used to really hate those things, because I had to dig up on history, and you have to write your interpretation.
I got E in that subject. E was
Oh,
not
I
even a
got-
grade.
I
E was not even a grade.
I got good grades, but I used to hate that.
E means exit now. It's time for you to exit. So Simran, my next question is for you. If you have to describe your college life through these movies, which one would it be? Main Hoon Na, Three Idiot, Gossip Girls, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani.
Gossip Girls, very clearly.
Good. So tell me, how did your father agree to you studying design?
Oh, he never opposed the idea of studying design, but he was obviously telling me that you need to be sure, you need to be well informed what you're doing.
Simran, tell me, how many final files do you have for a project on your PC?
Final one.
Oh, I think more than 5, 6.
And that's still less.
Yeah.
You could do worse. How many do you have?
Not many now.
Not many. You're very well organized. I remember one of my projects in college,
So
I
there
had
are
20
two.
files.
I manage my things like this. This is test and this is final. So everything that is not up to the mark goes to test renders or test drawings, and then I do.
I'm very impressed. Your college crush?
Oh, nobody. Seriously.
Nobody
We
worth
didn't have
it?
any.
Of course, the ratio.
The options
Yeah.
were
The
very less.
ratio didn't help you guys. It didn't favor you. Did you have one? No.
You should have seen our batch.
Around shade. Okay, so this is a quick one, and you both have to do it at once. Okay, you have to enact your jury day face in one emoji. What is your emotion on the jury day? Okay, that one. Crying.
Oh, I was mostly not there.
Himanshi was absent. That
So
was
you have
one
the disappearing emoji.
That was one thing about Himanshi. She put a ghost.
yeah.
So she
Nice.
was always absent on the submission day.
Not always.
Always.
Okay, come on, please. Not always.
Snehanshu sir was giving her jury on the final day.
Oh, wow.
Because she couldn't be here, I'll explain it.
What happened, Himanshi? Where were you?
Where were you,
I was
Himanshi?
sick with smallpox. I couldn't come to the jury. And
So one smallpox, and then
वही
Every year, Himanshi, grad show
ग्रेड शो ही तो है ना smallpox वाला.
and final jury.
Oh, grad show में I was there, यार.
I think she doesn't remember there was a final jury. She's like, oh, I was supposed to be there. So, group projects or individual projects?
Individual project.
Group.
Oh, interesting. Why group?
You get a lot of ideas.
So why individual? Did you fight a lot?
Yeah, no, she did.
Did you guys ever work together in a group?
Yes.
I don't know.
Because when I asked you, did you fight a lot? She was the one to answer. Yes, she fought a
With
lot.
other students. With other students.
No, I used to do my everything on my own. I
She
remember.
was a teacher's pet, you know. She'll complain about you a lot. कि हमने ये क्यों नहीं करा? She'll remind you कि इसका submission था. अरे औरों ने नहीं किया हुआ ये काम यार.
कभी मुझे कह रही है कि मैं सबमिशन पे नहीं आती हूँ,
सबमिशन पे तो नहीं आती थी
शट
और
अप प्लीज।
याद दिलाती थी.
Okay, I don't want to heat this up. Rapid fire is really fine. So this is like a very common question, and it's for both of you, that you know how everyone tells you कि बेटा 10th कर लो, it will be fine. You know, you just have to do it, and then 12th
Life
कर
बन
लो,
जाएगी.
and then college कर लो. बन गई life?
नो,
How is it now?
अब पहले ऐसा था कि 10th कर लो लाइफ बन जाएगी, अब क्या कर लो पता ही नहीं है लाइफ कैसे बने।
I think I had the best 4 years in this college. So 12th कर लो, life बन जाएगी, life अच्छी बनी.
Nice. And what about after college? How does it feel like?
After college, a lot of responsibilities come. Somehow, you know, even if you don't want to stress out on certain things, you have to worry, you know, कि अब बड़े हो रहे हैं, कि अब कुछ तो करना है ना.
I do have to ask one more question, which is, do you feel that did you challenge yourself enough creatively when you were in college, or you would have done it differently?
I could have done more, I guess.
And what do you
And that's a
think?
good sign, I think, now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to look back is to, you know, reflect your work, reflect yourself कि कैसा था. But yeah, obviously there is always a scope for, you know, bettering yourself.
Improvement,
So the next game is Never Have I Ever, and बहुत ही कड़वे coffee shots are waiting for you. Never have I ever lied about being sick to extend the submission deadline.
No, I have not lied.
Himanshi हो जाए यार. I think Himanshi 4 submissions, 4 shots.
Honestly, I have not lied.
What about you, Simran?
No. I've
Come
always
on.
been no.
Really? Such diligent students.
We were
I don't believe them.
And for instance, I had to, you know, submit proof of me getting sick because I was a scholarship student. I need to, I can't do that. I mean, I can't just get away with saying I'm sick, I can't come. I have to give proof to them.
One submission, what happened to Himanshi? I know she'll beat me after this episode.
First, shut up, please.
A dog bit her. So she couldn't come for the submission. A pug. Basically, a pug bit her, so she couldn't come for the submission.
And after 5 days, I come to the college and there are posters. क्या था?
Himanshi का pug mark.
And they were क्या हिमांशी को पग पे पग काट गया. And there were posters like this on softboard. So
They were really trolling you. Huh?
they were one kind of bullying.
So next one is never have I ever got my first design approved.
Never.
Never have I ever accidentally or intentionally destroyed the college property.
We have.
Himanshi was about to take it.
I want to know about this
Intentionally,
incident.
you said.
Intentionally or accidentally?
No, we didn't.
I've been here and I accidentally did it once. So it's I don't believe it. Yeah, they know. And I had to.
I
Yeah.
can't recall.
No, we haven't.
There was not much to destroy.
Am I only the clumsy one?
What did you destroy?
That is interesting. What did you
What did
destroy?
you destroy?
So I am a very passionate person. You know, when I start talking, and sometimes I go in a monologue, and I was fresh, and there was this particular project that I was very excited about, and I thought that I'd share it with the students. So I pulled down the projector screen, and the projector is on, and I didn't realize, I thought it's being projected on the whiteboard, and I pick up that marker and I start to draw. And and I was like, oh, and all the students were doing hooting, of course, because you know they got a chance. And then for the next 2 days, I was with alcohol and sanitizer trying to rub it off. And the students are coming with different kinds of fabrics. So try it with this. I managed to take it off, but it was very embarrassing. So every morning I would just come before the class and like wiping it off. Okay, never have I ever copied someone else's work and named it as my own. It could be anybody's, your batchmates or a
we were
famous.
like, what, 14 people. We can't copy. Like,
Then what about
Copied it
getting
from
it from the
internet?
internet? Yeah.
no.
I'm sure we've done it.
Like in the early years, I think.
Yeah.
I won't ask you to do the entire thing. Is it that bad?
Yeah.
They really did a number on you, didn't they? Never have I ever exaggerated things on my resume. Lied on my resume.
No.
No? Good. Very good people there. So the next one you've already answered. Never ever had a crush in college, so you've never had that.
So I dated in college, so I probably can't drink it. I don't
And then
want
you
to-
lied to us saying that it was just Ranbir Kapoor.
Chalo.
Now you drink. Never have I ever bitched about a person only to discover he is standing right behind me.
We were not that stupid.
So yeah, that I'm out of questions now, and all the games. I just want to ask in terms of how was this experience for you to talk about your college life, meeting these professors here, and what do you expect in future from your career, and where are you headed in career? If you both would like to share it with our students.
We want to obviously grow our firm, on a bigger scale, and we're looking forward to it, and to dealing with more clients of our interest and which matches our vision.
And what about you, Simran? How do you see yourself headed in the future?
Let's see, I definitely want to grow, and I'm sure I will. So let's see, everybody aims to grow. Like I'm sure every student out here wants to build a studio of their own. They don't want to work under someone for a very long period of time. So that's a very good goal. Go for it. You will be able to do it. So at some point, I'm not saying right after college, you will struggle, don't worry, but you will be able to do it.
I think to work under somebody is also important for you to understand that how big a scale it is to be working as a firm. You can't just go on and on about it.
Do you feel you were creatively challenged when you were working for another architect or another designer? Do you feel that?
Of course, I think even if I would have changed my job to some, I would have worked under some other designer, I would have to start from not zero, I would say, but like if I have reached 10 within some designer, I would have to restart with 3. I mean, I remember how Sanjeev sir was there. Like, I was working under Sanjeev Chatterjee, and he used to think very differently. I realized that much later that even if I would have taken up another job, I would have not started from 10. I would have started from 3 because everybody is conducting their office in a different way, and that's that. I mean,
was it similar to you, the whole thing between starting not from 10, from 3? Do you think that's how it is?
Offices will be challenging. You have to understand the people working around you. They will not be of your age group. So you have to understand the mentality of different age groups working together. There will be a team, so teamwork is very important in an office. So you have to come up with a design, then get it approved from your senior. Then understand the way the office works, what design. Where I work, they mostly did office interiors and huge offices, like not less than 10,000 square feet. So obviously it was a very big challenge. And yeah, your creativity has to come up.
But were you guys initially open to the idea of not being an individual, but because as designers we're always grooming ourselves as an individual creatively. That there's a major part of it other than the teamwork. So did you feel that you were open when you first started, or did you discover it eventually?
I think college really helped us that way because we were introduced to the idea of unlearning. When you have learned something, but somebody challenges that and says you can't proceed with this way of working. You have to go back and do it another way. So the process of unlearning is also very important.
I would open it to the audience again in case you have any questions, anything you want to ask them. Yes, please.
Hi, Simran and Himanshi. It was a lovely interaction, obviously. So I have one question. When you said that some of the clients are very, open to Pinterest, they have more images of Pinterest when they show a designer.
All the clients, not some.
Okay,
All.
let's take it that way. All the clients. So this is my question to you: that how do you convince them with your own creative design? Do you find it challenging because do you somehow feel that your creative design is getting a bit obsolete while they are just showing you the Pinterest image that they have to create in their spaces?
I'll just say look for the design problem first. They will come up with weird solutions कि नहीं हमें तो दीवार पर यही चाहिए. But you come up with a problem कि वो क्यों नहीं हो सकता. You tell them that. When they are convinced कि अच्छा ये इसलिए नहीं हो सकता था, then they will listen to you.
Like if the clients are biased, what do you do?
You go with their
whatever they say.
Whatever this. Cool. Thank you.
So I just want to know how was it after college in terms of even if you got the placement, what are we expected to imagine?
However talented you are, that depends, I think. I'll tell you, you will have your own share of heartbreaks where, you would have done your 100% and the client at the, you lack this, obviously, negotiation skill or whatever it is. You're very naive when you start, So I, for example, did my first project, and the client was my neighbor. He come up with this thing that, you should do your project, our project, and, I was very shy in asking regular payments, or I would lack asking the money because I was shy. I would not, I was not feeling comfortable asking so near to me, or for the money.
But don't sell your work for less.
Yeah,
If the client says कि नहीं मैं इतने ही दूंगा, मना कर दो.
because they'll obviously.
Even though you will lose interest in the project if he doesn't pay you well. So मना कर दो कि नहीं इससे कम तो नहीं करेंगे. A lot of work goes behind. They don't know that, but we do.
You will have to be clever about it. I think don't undersell yourself, as she said. But do the projects. I mean, how else?
Those are great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really interested when you said, you have a homestay and you are involved in the hospitality sector of it. Yeah. So I wanted to know, how did it start?
So I loved mountains. When I came to Delhi, I realized how important mountains were. So I always wanted to do something in the hills. So I decided to make a homestay. I decided to make a home. Homestay came much after that. So I decided to make a home. I decided to make one for my family. So it's basically a 2-bedroom set. So I thought, let's make one. So the confidence came after this college, as I said, because a lot of things are involved. So once you've done your studying, you'll realize what all you need to consider while building a home. It's not just कि paint कौन सा करना है, पर्दे कौन से लगाने. It's much more detailed. So I had the confidence of building it. I myself figured a contractor out there. Contractor will be your best friend. You have to make very good. You have to find very good contractors. So if you have a very good contractor, then he will guide you much more. So that person knows mountains much more than I will ever know. So he said what material will be the best. So he told me. Then I said, okay, I'll give you the drawings and I'll give you how it should look. So we both built it up. We worked as a team. So there are no materials in the hills. So everything has to go from Dehradun. So you cannot say कि मैंने ये drawing नहीं बनाई थी तो इतना material रह गया. So you have to work everything beforehand. So that's how I built the home, and then I converted it into a homestay. It was a good touristy place, and the response was pretty nice.
Thank you so much, Simran and Himanshi. I'm sure they'll have a more informal questions and like chilling with you, and you can now meet all your faculty.
Yeah, off the camera.
So thank you so much for being here and being so
calling
candid with us. And I'm sorry for the shots.
Thank you so much for hosting us.